we have favorable conditions to do those last-minute errands. But the temperatures are dropping, and it gets very interesting with the cold air in place over northern Ontario. We've been talking about snow now for the last couple of days in the far northwest of the province. That mixing line reaches down toward North Bay and awfully close into the Muskoka area, Gravenhurst, Bracebridge, mixing through the afternoon of tomorrow. And then snowfall in Sudbury. There's some indication here that we may be seeing 10 to 15 centimeters of snow in northeastern Ontario, by the way. Rainfall across the south. This is the afternoon snapshot. Now through the evening, we have changed this a little bit. We thought initially that we might see mixing along the 401. Now we're convinced that it could stay as warm enough for rain and showers there. But north of the 401, it will not take long before we begin to get into some mixing, and the winds will be picking up in strength as the evening goes on. So if you have a choice, I'd head out earlier rather than later. We have to dress the kids appropriately. It will feel cold. It will feel raw with the rain and the mixing happening. And so it's probably not as favorable weather as some other parts of the country, but we can get through this. Well, he didn't scream too loudly, so that's good. Good for you, Kevin. Let's take a look at our temperatures, what we experienced yesterday across the region. Well, we hit almost 13 degrees at Pearson, St. Catharines at nearly 15 degrees. So what's going on? Well, this low pressure system is on its way. It's building in with clouds, and it's gaining strength and energy, but also more moisture. As a result of that, we are going to be seeing some rainfall. We're also expecting some snow in northeast Ontario. In fact, Sudbury today could be in line for 10 to 15 centimeters of snow. That's getting awfully close, right? A little too close for comfort. Rainfall forecast through Saturday morning will bring us generally between 10 and at high end 20 millimeters of rain. But it's all about this transition. Let's talk today. 9 degrees this afternoon, 8 for the evening. And then as we look across the region for the evening, temperatures in the single digits. But the rain will begin, snowfall to start Saturday. So when we look at Friday evening across the GTA for the trick-or-treaters, we may be dealing with some rain in Toronto, but it won't take long to head northwest into the suburbs. We might even have some mixing by the evening period. Oh, that is so gross. Okay, thanks, Kevin. I think we have some cold air that's headed our way this weekend. The temperature contrast, actually, it's interesting when we look at northwestern and northeastern Ontario, it's snowfall, even today. Snowfall in Sudbury, for example. 10 to 15 centimeters. So the cold air is coming toward us, and it will start to move in throughout the day. Friday, slowly, but really picking up in the evening, which of course is Halloween. So we want to see this mixing stay further north. Well, it does that in the afternoon. Notice that we're in rain for the southern part of the province, but by the evening time, it's getting closer to us. This has changed a little bit in the last 24 hours in terms of along the 401 corridor. Now we're confident it should stay as rain, but it doesn't take long to get north of that we will begin to see mixing, the northwest winds setting up. It will be chilly. It will be raw. We'll have to dress the kids appropriately for those conditions, no question. Forecast this evening, on the other hand, we do have a few little stray showers near Orangeville. Toronto should be clear. We have some cold air coming our way, and it's already being felt in northeastern Ontario. Some snowfall that's accumulating, and all of that cold air is headed our way. So I'll give you more details on the forecast in just a moment, though. Thank you, Kasha. Well, let's take a look at a snapshot of the afternoon, okay, first. So it is still warm enough to be seeing rain, light rain and showers moving through. The winds will not have picked up too much for us in the GTA by the afternoon period, but notice the mixing line is getting closer, and snowfall in northeast Ontario. Okay, that's the snapshot for the afternoon and then the evening. So depending on timing, when we head out with our kids early in the evening, the winds might not be so bad, and we'll still be looking at rain for the most part. Anywhere, draw a line really from the 401 and south, rainfall, even through the evening. But the mixing line is getting awfully close. And some of these areas that are slightly higher in elevation, in Midwestern Ontario and up toward Algonquin Park regions, for example, will be experiencing some snowfall likely as this cold air comes in. The forecast this afternoon, 9 degrees. Notice a few little showers here and there. Now, this is all in advance of the main low pressure system, where we see it merge with a strengthening nor'easter off the Atlantic seaboard. That we'll have live coverage of and follow it step by step with team coverage, because it will be an impactful storm there. For us, though, high pressure, it will be in place. So That mixing line does make its way down, so temperatures get down toward freezing. We may start the morning of Saturday off with some snowflakes in the air, and then high pressure builds in once again on Sunday, but we're staying cool through that period. We never tire of those scenes, do we, at this time of year? Thank you so much for that, Kevin. Well, I hope you won't tire of this forecast. It's actually, all things considered, there's been some improvement, at least, right? I'll get to that in a second. Let's talk yesterday, though. Pearson hit almost 13 degrees. We had 8 in Mount Forest. It was a little cooler there as the days have gone on. Now we're talking about an impact across southern Ontario, initially as rain, and we may see through Saturday morning as high as 20 millimeters of rain overall for southern Ontario. That's not a big time amount of rain, but what it will do is bring us possibly some colder air, some mixing. So Toronto this afternoon, 9, sunny conditions, and for the evening period, still sitting at around 8 or so. Now let's get into where it gets interesting, because this evening, so temperatures are a little coolish. We've got a few little stray showers that are coming through up toward Barrie and Orangeville. Friday, rainfall. And then later in the evening, we may begin to, and we're talking after the trick-or-treating hours for Toronto proper, the mixing, and then starting Saturday off with some snow and some rain. Now, if you're northwest of Toronto and you're into even the suburbs, but more particularly, say, Midwestern Ontario, also areas to the east, up toward Peterborough and Kawarthas, we may actually have some snow and mixing for the evening period of Halloween. So it's not going to be great. It's going to be cool. The winds will be picking up in strength too. So watch for that.